You might have to do some dubbing.
No worries, no worries. I also had to control my dog sometime back. Weather was not good today, so.
Well, times that by 5, so that's how many I have.
Right. Okay, so again, let me ask, how much time you have? Like 1 hour?
Yeah, about an hour. Maybe a little. We can run a little bit over, but not a whole lot. I'd say by 2:30, I definitely need to be.
Let's
I've got
try.
some other things I get it going.
Sure. Let's try to keep it going then. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my goal here is to walk you through maybe already a setup workspace that we discuss. I actually worked on two. I could not get my hand on attorney because I wanted to work this with you. And when I started looking at attorney, there are different types of attorney: civil, criminal, tax, and I thought
It sure
let's
is.
yeah, I thought let's give it a hold and then discuss with you first. So
That's fine. Yeah,
let's
because
talk.
attorneys have a lot of play areas you can get into. You got
Right.
criminal defense, you got
Yeah,
business attorneys, you got. I mean,
yeah. So as usual, when you start, you can create your workspace from here. I put already roof repairs and I touch it, and then I I open it from here. So I did some pre-work, of course. And next time, or I can show you step by step. But it's exactly the question that onboarding questions are same. The first four questions: where's your niche,
yep.
sub niche, micro niche? Here you start with your hunch filling. And for this project, of course, I took a reference website, Ridgeline Construction.
Okay, great.
So that was just a reference point because I wanted
Now, where
to.
did you stick in that reference point? Did
No,
you do the
no,
boost up in the beginning, or
no, nothing. Just look at the website,
okay, you
what
just
they're
referenced it
offering
visually? Gotcha.
visually, and try to understand something like in the beginning. But then
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, let me try my own, then I'll figure it out later. So my niche was homeowners, of course, with 10 plus years of construction, looking for install a new roof at a reasonable price. I took deliberately because if you are living in a home and it's almost past 10 years, then of course it's time to repair your roof. So that was my starting point, and then I narrowed it down a little bit in the same problem solution space. So still I'm talking about same homeowner, but long-time homeowners looking for a cost-effective roof repairs to protect against leakage and increase energy savings.
Cool.
So I looked at this website, the one or two, three people mention in testimonials or other places that the main reason they want to get their roof repaired was obviously these reasons. So
Mm-hmm.
I had some clues, like I was not completely clueless on this, right? And of
Mm-hmm.
course, if I'm a business owner who do the roof repair, then this business owner might know better. I just applied my guess and looking at the initial ideas.
Sure.
So I narrowed it down further. Owners who are settled for a long time in their house, looking to increase house value, protect against potential leakages, looking for a roofing company to replace the old shingles, old
Mm-hmm.
shingles with new under warranty, future leakage proof, new roof.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this point, it is getting a bit more sharper, and I will tell you how it got a bit more sharper. But wait a moment. So vertical was, of course, roof repairs, and I look at one of the testimonial from the guy on this. His name was Charles Adam. So I took this person. Charles Adam is a 45 years old homeowner looking to replace his old asphalt shingles with a new leakage-free and energy-saving shingles. He desires to hire a cost-effective professional roofing company that can finish work in time with quality and clean finish without getting ripped off. So
Yep.
this is a typical like a desire or the
Mm-hmm.
person.
One
Uh,
persona. You got some out there that are looking for metal roofing. You got, but yeah, this would be one good start
yeah.
for a persona. Now, let me ask you real quick. It's kind of bothering me. Can you hear my dryer in the background? Hello?
No, not that it bothers me. Maybe it bothers you, but as
No,
per
I
the
that's I just want to make sure it's not so prevalent that
no,
because
no,
it's
no.
okay. Okay, good.
If I
Okay, go
pay
ahead.
attention, then only I hear sound tuck, tuck, tuck. I know
Oh,
the
but you
sound.
can't hear it then?
I can hear, but I am not. It's not loud. It's not.
Okay, just
When
as
you
long as it's
mention,
not
yeah.
distracting, because
No, no,
I
no, no.
okay, I didn't
Completely
want.
not. No,
Okay,
no.
cool. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a great start then.
So
Yeah, I like this.
yeah. So I was not that sharp in the beginning, but what helped me is initial idea. I saved it and I generated insights. And these insights, when I read through it, I made some more changes. So of course I can read out for you because this is quite obvious that it took some initial input. I can regenerate them. Every time I regenerate, I get new ideas and content. But I wanted to cover this quickly, so I wanted to go ahead. So the website, of course, I showed you, I referred as in this one, Ridgeline Roofing Construction.
Gotcha.
Of course, we are targeting here the homeowners, decision makers, also homeowners. Um, the your own role and title is your owner, 45-year-old, that's we are targeting, male, USA homeowners, married, 10 plus years of construction plus kind of their experience. It's not B2B, but it's like, homeowners with 10 plus years of construction,
Yeah.
and the company size 1 to 4. But interesting thing is here, so let's I highlighted them in bold, and that's where I wanted to just focus more. So the company here we are talking about is Ridgeline Construction. It has been in business since 1983, and this is kind of 30 years in operation. So what I found is most of these roofing construction company, they are family owned business and they are for long term. So in what you're saying basically is get a professional roof in a timely manner, that is in price range that best
Hmm.
fits your budget. And of course the target market is homeowners in Texas. So for what so reason it put it gave me a suggestion for Texas. I would not know that. Maybe maybe weather conditions are very bad in Texas, or maybe hurricanes are coming more often in Texas. I would not know that, but this
Right.
was quite interesting, I found. Local, of course, company. I'm looking for a company with a long history of successful projects and who has at least 10 years of experience. So
Hmm.
the company is also like when you discuss more about these insights, you find quite interesting ideas. These customers that they are looking, or as a roofing company, I'm looking for high quality, high value customers, right? Company history. So Ridgeline Roofing Construction has been doing roof installations for 130 years, and the president, one of the founders' grandchildren, has been working diligently to make his grandfather's dream come true. And I did little research on this, and I found that most of the roofing companies, they are like kind of passed from fathers to
Hmm.
grandfather, and this
If
kind
they're
of
successful, yeah, that's how it works.
family owned business. For example, here the decision maker is homeowner himself. The house is over 10 years old and the roof is not up to the date, causing it to leak. They're looking for a company that can give estimation on how much it will cost to replace the old shingles with a new under warranty
Yeah,
future leakage.
just a little technicality. Typically, your roof is covered is 20 years
Mhm.
warranty, but it can be early as 10 if they kind of got a cheap roof when they put it in the first time, or if the house is constructed
Yeah.
and they went with a cheap roof or something like that. But typically, you should get at least 20 years
I, get-
out
this
of a
is
roof.
something I got here as a research point. I'll come to that.
Yeah,
It's very
maybe it's
close.
better to start out with a smaller year, just to
Yeah.
cover everybody.
Mhm. Age here. So 45-year-old homeowner is financially comfortable, has experience, wherewithal to make educated decisions. The homeowner is typically very hands-on and is seeking to complete projects with their household. So it's also important when we're targeting a 45-year-old or a 24-year, there's a big difference how we should message this, because a 45-year-old person is more
Hmm.
financially comfortable with making decisions. He has experience to work on a project where he has to repair his house, right? This person is with good financial stability, experience in making decisions, may have previous experience or knowledge of carrying out projects, for example, doing renovations or redecorations. These are interesting insights, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The customer is likely to be very hands-on, may have previous experience, blah, blah, blah. Gender. Some men might dislike roofing projects because they are perceived as dirty, noisy, and physically demanding. There
Well, they're
are all
dangerous too. They're dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing on a slanted roof, I mean,
yeah. There are also social stereotypes that pressure men to avoid doing the work someone else can do for them. So regardless of
sure,
any preconception or issues when it comes
they know their
to,
limitations.
yeah,
They may work in an office or something like that. They know their
right.
limitations.
But our target is man is good because he will make the decision, but maybe pressure is coming also from the wife.
Oh yeah, you said you'd do this last year. What's going on?
Yeah. But sorry, man.
But there's just as many, like, I just so everyone's clear that this is one persona. This is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
one out
obviously.
of many
Yeah, yeah.
that are going to be that you can build out for uh, those looking to get roofing done. I mean, there's also single women out there, a lot of single women, in their 40s that are looking to get a roof put on, etc.
Also, if you talk about marital status, it says here, married people are looking for solutions that are more permanent. They are not willing to deal with the hassles of product that are more temporary. They are
Sure.
looking to get more of an investment in the solution that are more, of course, it's a reputation. But you
Mm-hmm.
see, it's kind of giving us interesting ideas. So traffic channel, of course, is I think here the Facebook and this kind of more organic or social media.
It
Um,
can be. It certainly
yeah,
can
yeah.
be.
So if I generate it again, of course, it will come something different. But I
Sure.
just wanted to show you that how deep these insights can
And
go.
just so
And
that everyone knows that when you hit generate, you are using up AI credits, correct?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
So if you don't get it the first time, you may have to hit it again um, to get some other ideas. But there, at this stage in the game, to me, it's worth it because it's really kicking out some very interesting things that you can write on and touch on and
exactly.
use in your sales copy.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And then here I took a little side step. So I went a bit out, like not complete side step, but there are two other tools. I
Mm-hmm.
walked you through last time about these tools,
Mm-hmm.
and I directly jumped to like this, how people are searching. So I just say, okay, roof repairs. And I wanted to find out what is the majority of the questions that people are asking for roof repairs. Is it
Mm-hmm.
about tax savings, or it will come up? And then I chose one particular thing. So mostly roof repairs near me, roof repairs cost. It's sort of strike me more because most of the time people would want to understand, even if they're wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Cost is sort of one of the most important thing. And then uh, roof repairs are they covered by insurance, or roof repairs can be capitalized or can be expense or average cost. And I also quickly looked at
Mm.
some of the
Yeah, yeah,
questions.
yep. You're tapping into the insurance and stuff there,
Yeah,
and taxes
homeowner.
and all those fun things.
Indeed, indeed. So then I thought, okay, well, I want like waste my lot of time here. I will directly start with this one single thing, and that is the cost, about the cost. So I sort of sprinkled some SEO type of search intent idea here, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I put this main topic, is roof repair costly? And then I put another topic, is roof repair tax deductible? And just to
Mm-hmm.
be clear here, one we only have to answer like all the question by hand in the first section, and rest
Mm-hmm.
of the section you answer two question, and then you say fill with AI. I'm still testing if we can do completely fill with AI, because that might dilute something, but I'm still trying to see if we can
Yeah,
make something
yeah.
like that.
We'll keep
So
working
then,
on that because
yeah,
I think if there's in the beginning, if you can feed it with enough materials, not too much, but
Yeah.
just enough to get started, it may be able to populate most of this for you.
Yes, yes, yes. So currently these two are steering, and of course it take previous input. So I will show you how it, but you see immediately it populated remaining. Is roof repair capitalized or expense? Is roof repair expensive? Can I get a permit online? We will fix your leakage roof and protect against mold and offer a free roof inspection. Okay. Then it created, or I think I modified a little bit here, but it says text qualified homeowners. Is your roof leaking? Get a free estimate. And this thing I modified based on here. So I generated insights,
Sure.
and then I modified this. So you see
There
how
you go. And there's a prime example how you can use your insights.
Indeed, indeed. So homeowners looking for a cost-effective professional roofing company, and then we are here to take care of all your roof repairs, installations, maintenance, and inspection. We offer high-quality materials, attentive workers, and a quick installation of all our services. So, of course, I'm not saying that this is the best headline, but this is good starting point, and the workflow is same. I save it, I can regenerate insight, optimize it as much as I'm comfortable that I'm having a new and unique insights. Then again, I was looking for something, and this is exactly the point you mentioned. I was looking what is something that is everyone believe, but the truth is opposite of X. So many people think that most 30-year shingles do not last 30 years. I mean, mostly people buy this under warranty. You said 20-year, but I think sometime maybe 30-year warranty, and everyone think that I don't need to replace my roof next 30 year.
Right. That's
because,
a good point. It's a good point. Just because it's a 30-year warranty doesn't
yeah,
mean that,
yeah,
hey, I'm not even going to look at it until 30 years. It's like, well, that might be a
indeed,
bit late
indeed, and
because
it
it
says,
doesn't cover all the weather conditions, storms,
yes,
and all those
yeah,
other things.
yeah, exactly. So perfect condition without such as strong winds and blah blah blah. So I put this as an idea, and then emotional payoff. Of course, you don't want to get ripped off when you ask a roof repair company. So that's this primary,
That's a pretty big deal.
pretty big deal actually, right? So I did this too, and then I said fill with AI. Of course, I didn't generate any insight here because at this point I was confident enough that whatever I have here is kind of already quite good enough.
Suffice.
Yeah, suffice basically. So if you see benefit, people want a roofing company that will be there for emergencies and give them peace of mind. um, you can see time frame, it can take 3 months. Urgency, or for big result, 4 to 6 weeks they're looking for. Charles Adam need to get roof repair while the warranty is still valid. Looks like it's an interesting one, right? I need to install a new roof
Another,
as soon as
saying,
possible.
another interesting one would be a lot of people have the question is how many roofs can I install on top of the old roof? Like how many layers? Like some people don't know that, but you can actually in certain areas, maybe it's specific to cities and states or whatever, but you can actually install on top without actually have to tear the old one out. A lot of people, because that saves on cost if the roofers don't have to tear the old one completely out. Now, I don't even know if that's preferable or not. I just know that it's an option.
I don't know where I read, but in this either insights or somewhere, it was not advised, or it was not advised to do that. The advice was to remove the old one and do the new one. That's what the
So
advice.
when you buy one that when and they because they got to disclose that when you buy a home and they say, yeah, this is a roof, there's a roof installed on top of a roof, then you're like, okay, well, I know how this guy operates.
Right.
He's saving money, but he's not really doing the best choice.
Oh, here, see here. Single big mistake, not replacing your old shingles before they become too brittle and break. So I think this is something else. But
Yeah, that is a problem. They like, again, it all stems from that. I got a 30-year roof. I mean, I'm not even going to look at it until 30 years is up. But a lot of times they're surprised with a water staining on their ceiling and go, it's only 25 years. I've got a 30-year roof. What's going on? So
Right, right.
so I would probably touch into some areas where I could fit it in about routine inspections,
Right.
maybe once every 5 years or something like that,
Mhm.
or after or on demand when necessary, such as you just had a pretty bad storm. It might be a good idea to go check your shingles.
Right, right. No, we had a pretty bad storm sometime back, 1.5 year, and one of the shingles was blown away. So we had to call emergency service. So otherwise, or other shingles might get start blown away.
Yeah,
So
once the stack is compromised, then
yes,
it can start to have a cascading effect.
indeed, indeed. So without taking too much time here, I think insights always helps to get new ideas. And if you're really into roof repairs and if you wanted to make this as specific as possible, um, yeah, here is the here's the thing, right? To deep dive and
It's like
wanted to
I said,
bring.
I want to keep all of it. Every insight that I pay for, especially, I want to keep it in notes, or I want to keep it in somewhere. Like you were telling me we got notes over there. There's
Yeah,
really no reason to just keep track of all this, because otherwise, in order to come back to this, you have to go back to the niche. You have to go back to the and I
right.
don't. I assume that if you hit save, it saves it, so it's always going to be there when you come back to this spot. But
Yeah,
you definitely want to keep that information, because it kicks out a lot of stuff you can use
right. What
in your own copywriting.
mhm. What I'm trying to get is if you hit next time button, then instead of replacing this, you can keep adding it the same
That's
thing.
what
Yeah,
that was my hack. That
yeah,
I was like, you know what? I'm putting all my insights and anything that I go and do the research on myself. I'd like to keep it in here just to see
yeah.
how it generates it whenever when we're in the editor, how it uses that information and
Basically,
um,
it will be interesting because once you train Athena, then Athena has got more knowledge and you can regenerate insight and it will get more and more better because once you train Athena, then the insight AI prompt will also use that Athena.
yeah.
So it will be interesting to generate them, come back again, and if you're really into research and wanted to see more and more, then that will
Well, I
be
just like the idea of creating Athena smart database.
right.
It's not going out necessarily and looking all over the market and trying to find something relevant, but it's actually using the material that you feed it, and you're smartening it up with, so that whenever it goes to kick out stuff, it's you kind of know. Oh yeah, I remember I put that in there, and all you got to do is reword it um, and use it in your copy.
Right. So after these four steps, it took me around 30-35 minutes to fill those four steps,
Mhm.
including a little sidetrack to search intent and see. And after this, I filled up, I get a pop-up here, train Athena, and then I use this stuff, just homepage here to inject into some knowledge. But then that's it. I spent like roughly 30 minutes to just read through everything. If I was just pushing the button and saving it, I could have done in 5 minutes. But of course, in between I was researching and also trying to modify some idea whether I can get something better.
Yeah.
So that took
While
me
we're on
some.
this page, real quick, what is what does Train Athena do exactly, as far as its limitations or the extent that you can take this? Does it only do one URL or?
At this moment, it is only one URL, but team is working and we are pretty soon going to deploy a new version where
Okay.
it is so
And how
at
does it
this.
use that URL in this
So
circumstance? How do like you add the ridge one or the rock one or whatever that is up there?
yeah, I'll just
And the
add this one and then I use the way it is used is is going to pull that information. So basically crawl that information. Okay.
Okay. And how long
Once,
does that take from the time that you add it here? Oh, it costs credits to crawl it. I
yeah,
didn't even
yeah,
see that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's not on.
Once how long does it take to crawl it so that it's ready for your content creator?
It's mostly 30 seconds. In most of the cases, you get also a message.
And it's only
It's,
doing so many layers of crawl, like it's only doing the service pages, the front page, or what is it doing? Well, how much is it actually crawling?
is actually crawling the only one page here, the page in a Google Chrome setting. So whether
Oh,
you
okay.
using the Chrome, not like going through the sitemap, but or
It's not
directly
going
you.
through the sitemap. Okay.
No, no, no. The idea here is not only crawling this page, but also whatever information that you have inserted so far is also training on that. So when I say training, means indexing it properly so that it can be used as a later. So it's creating kind of a database, and not a simple
Mhm.
database, but
Sure.
a database of semantic vectors. So I'm going
Nice.
into technical, but it's like numerical vectors, and you search it, and then it match the two. So I showed this how it is working in here. So I type a query. It's like a Google search query. So I say
Mhm.
single big pen. Okay. So what happens? AI model converts this into a numerical property vector, and then there are numerical properties stored already in the database. So it will try to find the match, close match on that numerical vector.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. So it's a kind
Which
of
is absolutely fascinating. I was able
so
to understand that.
single big pane, there is a leak in your roof.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
number one, single big
yeah.
one.
So it understands the meaning of the query, and it try to find the best one based on
Yeah,
the
I like
scores.
that. I love this aspect. I think if it can continue to grow and the knowledge, the database can continue to grow its knowledge base. Oh my goodness, it's like
Yeah,
I'm fascinated with the idea of just building our own niche specific database that answers just about everything you can think of out there, and just having it
yeah,
exclusively to us. We built it. We created we answered all the questions. We asked all the questions. We put the attributes down, maybe even some state laws and things like that. If we really want to dig into our niche and understand, um, the laws of Texas or whatever when it comes to roofing, point them off to give them a link to where you do get your permit. That you can do it online or whatever. Um, that's all stuff that at the end of the day it's not going to help with just one document. It's going to help with any article or email or anything you write. It's going to have that information already retained.
right, right. So I went ahead and I provided some simple input here, like main topic of interest was roof repair cost. Content idea was how important it is to get your roof repairs before next winter, or get your income tax deductible. I don't know if that was the right one. I just tried out like this, and I can directly jump into the content. So then you can create sort of outline, and from this outline you can use different tools here. So
And you've already done that, right? You've already
I
you've
I
already created all of this here.
yes,
What would be here if you didn't do any of that?
we can
It'd be a
do.
blank document, or
Yeah, we can start completely blank. So let's do it together. So let's say what roof repairs, right? Let's talk still about roof repair cost. Now you tell me like what content we should create. What should be our goal of the content? Just an idea.
give a general overview of the varying cost and all the variables that we'd have to be answered, but we can give that cost.
No, no, just like say provide general overview. Let's say like provide general overview of different costs involved in in repair. Okay.
Oh, repair. That's right. Roof repair. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
Then again,
Same thing.
not everything is used here currently, but and we are getting rid of this. But for the sake of this, I need to fill something. So of course, roof repairs. In which topic you wanted to categorize this again, like construction,
Homeowner.
construction and repairs, home construction and repairs,
Yeah.
right?
Homeowner repairs. Yep.
Home construction, repairs. Problem helps in understanding the cost overview of this. Call to action, book the code, get estimate, something like that.
Yeah. Inspection estimate, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But that it is getting also a bit simplified because there was 2 or 3 repetition because we already asked main topic of interest and I explained you before.
Okay. So this is what it gives you when you fill those out. Okay.
Yes. So just very high level outline, introduction, the average cost of roof repairs. The introduction should include information of what essay will be about, in which providing a general overview of cost of roof repairs. It should also provide some explanation. So it's more like a sort of direction to start with. Okay.
Sure.
And the team is still working on this. We have some couple of ideas. So we get some outline
Certainly
and we wanted to reiterate those outline to get more bigger outline.
Sure.
But this is just like if someone asks me create this, then it's just like on the clean slate some rough drawing, like a kind of direction or a steering.
Sure.
And
And it's giving you, it's pulled from SERP, and it's also giving you a blog outline or article outline ideas
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, but here I have different tools then. So I can start with pressing these 2-3 buttons and see which is my good starting point. So roofing cost, it will fetch me. I'll just keep press 2-3 times and then I'll just choose one which
And
fits.
keeping in mind that every time you do press that, you're using more credits.
Of course.
I mean, keep mindful.
Yes. So I will start something like how to choose a roofing company. If I wanted to describe overview of the cost, maybe some other writer will choose
That would
something
be
else.
somewhere down when you're closing your because the main article is going to talk about cost for repair.
Yeah.
And then at some point, as you lead them down the funnel, the next obviously coverage is going to be who do we pick? I mean, who do we go with? Well, we got that answer for you.
Right. Of course. So a little experience of the writer will be helpful here because if you're experienced with this, you will structure it. But in a moment, I will also show power up template where you can also pull a template. And if you're new to it, then you can structure from there. So we got here.
And that's a community-based template. So that means that if any of the CrawlQ users come up with their own, they find it is useful, then they can upload it to the database and share it with the community.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to make it a community-based open template. Only thing is we need to make some tweak here. So we can say, okay, talk in the same language as Athena understand more or less, but they work quite good. So provide.
It looks more complicated than what it is. And so I anticipate some simpler templates that may not overwhelm. But the object is it's what is it, ADA and some of those other standard structures when writing a blog that covers the pain points, providing a solution, and all this is doing is giving you a technical outline for ideas.
Actually, over the period of time, I added a lot of them. How to simulate a discovery call, a long sales letter.
Wow, yeah, I like that.
Case study benefit based landing page, news checking blog post, LinkedIn cold prospecting, how to use ADA framework.
There's some other ADA
Yeah,
framework that
how
one, and
to,
there's another one that I can't remember what it is, but they're pretty common in emails and short copywriting.
yeah. I experimented with these 10 smart diagnostic questions by S. Kennedy. And you just ask Athena these questions like what keeps them awake at night? What are they afraid of? And it pulls some interesting results from your
Mhm.
pain points and market research.
Yeah,
And
it's a great guide.
yeah, I have example here also. It came up quite pretty good with those examples. So coming back where we were,
It's like we talked about before. The whole purpose of this, collecting this information and becoming an expert. Unlike it separates us from some of the other AI writers and some of the other SEO people out there, is the whole reason why we're collecting this information at the depth that we're doing for these personas, is that we're wanting to become an expert in a particular field and in a
yeah,
particular understanding, so that we can write the most effectively to them and have them resonate with us more than the next guy. So that, you've got competitors out there who are trying to do the same thing, but
mhm,
they don't have crawl IQ. So they're limit. I know how they do it because I've done it, but the information is there is no real depth study or research in the persona. There really is just finding what Google's saying, and then doing our best to understand and answer that question. If it's a question, we go and answer it. But with Crawl IQ, I mean, the whole purpose of gathering this information is to write about it, to write copyright. It's copywriting. You're using the information that you gathered, that you've become aware of, and so that's why this page, this content creation page, to me is like 50% of the whole important reason behind Crawl IQ. It's this is where you execute what you know.
right, right. And I want to give you here example. So it really forces you to stay within your research. And if you see here, for
Mm-hmm.
context, I'm writing this outline, provide a general overview of different costs involved in roof repair. For this owner who are settled for long in their house, looking to increase house value, protect against potential leakage. So it pulls information, and
Mm-hmm.
I can keep like developing it, writing it, but it won't let you divert and distract from your main research that you did. And this is useful framework because then you are sticking with the research. And sometimes it happens you do the research, but while writing the blog you are completely off the beat, right?
Yeah.
I can.
And you said one of these, if you were to click and highlight one of these questions like that, let's just say that one you just did, you can click and highlight it, and you can either have Athena go out to the SERP and pull what it thinks the answer to this is, or some material related to this, or one of them is your own database, the database you've collected. Which one's which?
So currently it is mostly pulling from the database that you have, right, at
Okay.
this stage.
What both of them do, or
So this, when I say ask me Athena, is more like instruction based. So we are saying instruction here, right? How much does, and then write me Athena is just a description. So if something is here, I can just select and keep writing it. So
so
there's
how do I
only
know if it's pulling from the information that I've fed it
most of
versus it going out to the SERP and finding
at
new
at
information
at this stage is 100% coming from the information that you have.
you've already
In
put in?
you
Okay.
have already put in. And as I discussed you before, we are creating different mode. So there will be another option here, radio button, where you can say SERP data only. So like information
And then tell it
information.
which pages you want it to crawl. Like, remember we were talking about it picks the first 20, it goes to the first 20, but it'd be neat if we could have it pick, another set of pages
Mhm.
versus just the first 20. But yeah, that's cool.
Right. So currently, of course, it is there, but the way we are trying to make it sure that it has a different mode. So If you want to just write informative blog, then you can select that and it will base only on the served data. But if you want to write very buyer persona specific content, then you can select that mode. Or if you wanted to combine both of these, then also you can select both these. You just need to go back to
It's just
dashboard and select option here. So every time I can train or keep my assistant Athena for different purposes. So if my content goal is only informative, then I will just power up Athena and then
yeah, I like that. I like that if when we can get to at least I'd say at minimum, put between 10 and 20 euros in there, because we're fattening up the knowledge base. Because when we read this, we see roof repair can cost as low as 300 and as high as 10,000. Well, that merits some copy on that to explaining why, right? So it's like, why
uh,
is it as low as 300, and why is the gap so big? Well, it gives you material to write about.
So what you can further do with the SERP data is you can use the SERP data to convert into smart questions. And now here the real juice for the writers, have. So how much can roof repair cost run for minor repairs? What is the national average of roof repairs in America? Why are the prices quoted in this article lower than? So I can also change this. For example, here say how long are lead time for both labor and material, right? So I can make some changes here. How are the lead time for both labor and material? Let's say I wanted to make it more specific for materials for roof repair, or I would have picked up some other question. I just wanted to demo you, like you can edit these questions, because why you want to edit this question, because you want it to be in the flow of what you are creating,
There
right?
you go.
And then once you edit, you can answer it, you can regenerate answer if you don't like it, or if there is already a question that you think fit perfectly
But
into
these
my
are
flow.
curated specifically from Forbes, right? And as an SEO person, the one thing you have to make sure you're not doing is you're not committing plagiarism. So,
No, this
if
this is this query, this content is only used to generate this question, not the from, nothing happens from this article, only
so, what
this
is
question.
Forbes up there for then?
It's just to feed the AI with this content so that it can convert into questions. And then from question, you can
Okay, so
generate.
this part up here at the top is all directly from Forbes.
Yes, yes.
So that's all. You don't want to copy that word for word, is what I'm saying.
No, 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 no. You don't want to copy
You
that.
can use it, but you're going to need to rewrite it.
Yeah, yeah. But here we have even not touched, because we wanted to make this app as 100% unique content. So we use this idea to create questions. And these questions, of course, you when they are close-ended, you get close-end answer. If they are open-ended, then you get open-ended answer,
Right.
right? But the main goal here is not to take anyone's content, but get inspiration from that, and then
Absolutely. That's what the whole AI is about.
yeah, yeah. So then, because when you are writer, then you get a variety of concepts going on. See how here it came up with a big idea. What are the
Mhm.
price quoted in this article lower than current? So it's not
Now, when you
really.
kicked out this answer underneath that, that's not that's completely AI. That's
Yes,
Athena's interpretation in her own words.
exactly, exactly. This context
If it's a
is,
he or she, I don't know. Is Athena a
yeah,
she?
she is a Greek
Okay.
Greek goddess.
Okay. I wanted to make sure. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's just her interpretation there under the question, but up there, that's obviously directly word for word from Forbes.
Yes. So we never feed this into Athena, this part. We only feed this question and the intelligent of our research that
Right.
we
But I'm
did.
just saying it's an option. You can, if you have another, we don't like to go outside of CrawlQ, but I like what that's saying. I can rewrite it. I can put that in the rewriter.
Yeah.
Um, but as we talked about before, it needs to be 67% minimum um, uh, different.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing wrong with using that. You just need to rewrite it. And whether that's through one of our, like I have other programs that will do that or rewrite that whole thing. Or as we did with WordTune, we can go through and sometimes it's not enough just to rewrite sentence by sentence, but you got to move the sentences around. So you don't want it, you want to move, like, if can I move that sentence above that sentence? So, just to even make sure it's unique in every way. But
And I'm
so it's
actually,
optional. Don't think
yeah,
of it as that you can't use that. You just don't want to use it word for word.
right. Now I'm exploring other options, not GPT-3, but some open source models that we can little fine tune and then use it.
Sure.
Currently, we are using more approach, which is not really working in the way users expect, because then you wanted to have more variations here. So we are on it, but of course, it's
Yeah.
research always take time, and you wanted to choose the best option. So that's how it take some time. But as I said, there are different tools here. Um, you can now we are talking about cause, right? So you can take this question, write me Athena, or you can generate answer from here, or take it here and then again expand it. So it's a lot of the whole steering wheel is with you, okay? And once you have this, you can keep developing this blog. Or if you don't like, then you can also go to a template, and template also gives you the same idea, because for some people it's very hard to stay in a structure, right? So for example, I'll take this template, like uh, how to write a blog post, or how to blog post, for example. What I will do, I'll copy this.
Just so that everybody knows, this is not just stuff that is just thrown together. This is structures and blog structures that HubSpot and others have put together to help people out.
Right. I actually put also credit adapted from HubSpot best performing blog template recommendations. I can also add here link if people want. So it's not like it is adaptation basically, and I need to do the adaptation because the language that I wanted to fine tune it with the language, because I put in my research single big desire, then Athena will understand it more faster. If I would write something else, then maybe result might be different. So adaptation means I change some wording here, but the structure is same. And this text that you see in the red is literally same, exactly what they prescribe. So describe in about 100 and 150 words what you want to achieve by this blog. What is your desire to solve this problem for users?
Yeah.
So
And
it's
I've wrote quite, let me put it this way. I've wrote thousands of articles for blogs and for companies. And even I'm finding that those templates useful. It's like, I never thought about that. The some of the structures, some of the way that it discusses how you should write it, it's all just adding to my knowledge base of how to execute a great blog or article.
mhm. So it provides some good structure basically. And what I do, for example, all these big thing, I just first say, ask me Athena. And then once I have outline, then I say, write me Athena. Because it gives me a good idea or structure, because you see it is a generic template. Now I'm creating with ask me Athena a specific for my blog, and then I will say write me Athena, or I will use other tools to expand on it. See how specific it is. Provide 3
Yeah.
suggestions if you are new to
As
the
soon as you see
roof
something
repair.
that it kicks out that you like, then go ahead and clean it up. Get rid of you've already done that one, so you still need to create maybe a headline for that. But it's already put out those 3
Yeah.
suggestions. So
Yeah. So for example, provide 3 suggestions if you are new to. Now in the backend, it understand the
yeah,
roof repairs, and you
yeah.
can also verify it here, what exactly it is pulling. So it is your market research is here,
Mhm.
and this was your main topic of interest. So what if I connect these two, is virtually saying, provide 3 suggestions if you are new to is roof repair costly, right?
Sure.
And then it says, get a free estimate for different roofing companies regarding your needs.
Yeah.
Ask for references and call them to get more information
So
on the
there's 3
company.
great pieces of advice already. So
Yes, and then I can expand it. Just saying, write me Athena. So then here I can then expand the blog.
right. And this is what I keep saying, that is setting Athena CrawlQ apart from the rest of the AIs. I don't think people see it right off the bat, but it's exactly what it is. It's not going out and grabbing stuff that's, that's because a lot of times when you run GP3, you get, it's like, man, it just brought back gobbledygook. I can't use that. It's going to be less something that happens in CrawlQ. It's not going to be nowhere near as prevalent as it will be if it's calling a GP3 call. Because again, as you said, this is your own database.
Right.
This is information that you've put in or you've told it to go and crawl. And if it doesn't have it, then we need to go get it and put it in there.
Right. What is the biggest ROI here is you need to research one time, and then you can consistently test your funnels, your blogs, your backend of the funnel in a consistent manner. Because if you don't do that, and if you have 3 people, and these 3 people are independent writers with different background, they will write the same thing differently. And then maybe they will mix up the message or something. But here you can achieve that consistency in creating the message, right? So for example, make sure you sign a contract with a reputable roofing company. And it's when I say, write me Athena, then this expand on this. It says the contract is the basis of your agreement with the roofing company. It outlines what work need to be done, how much it will cost, the timeline for the completion, on any other special requirement. Now I can keep asking it, write me Athena, or I can go somewhere else which fit into this. So steering is in my hand. Like that's how I would see it. And it's not like a push button blog, so I keep pushing button and it keep me into random direction. No, the direction is what I set here. And of course sometime you will get some result which you won't like, but then you have the idea to try it out with other.
Not just because it doesn't have it yet. It just doesn't have the information. So.
Single big feature that we wanted to have: replace all shingles with the new under warranty. Do you like it or not? And then we can expand it, of course.
Pretty much in a nutshell, especially on the topic of repair. So
right. This is a cost that will provide owners with a peace of mind to know their roofing needs are being addressed. In order to increase house value, protect against potential leakage and the roof leakage, owner would go about replacing all shingles. I think is giving you some ideas, and there are some couple of instructions here. And if you keep this in mind, I think you can create a great blog here, which is kind of uniquely designed and not sort of borrowed directly from the SERP result.
Yep. From the SERP result?
Now at this stage, we are directly asking Athena, right? So at this stage, we are not going to anywhere. Right. And once you say, okay, let's try to do it with SEO information, then of course it will also pick up these information. So when I say SERP, what exactly I mean is looking at all these concepts and then pick those concepts and then ask, write me Athena on those concepts. So I don't want to name them concepts because the work is differently than outranking here. I don't know exactly how they work in their AI, but the way I think is we only need the big ideas here. We don't want to take this content actually in Athena. We don't want to store this content. We just wanted to have this idea, okay? And then let Athena's intelligence create the content about it and not borrow this content. If you want to really borrow, why we waste our AI? We can have a better rewriter here, which you can rewrite and then use it in future, right? So AI is to create a smart new content, which is not there already on the
right.
Google, right? So that's my idea. My idea is to just take from the SERP main headlines like this, and then inject it into AI. Still keep our mix of our research, or we can give less weight to the research and more weight to the topics that appear in the search results. So when I say Google search data, that means I mean these main headers and the topics. So if somehow I can ask Athena to keep this information and then generate content based on this, I expect it to come up with good ideas, new ideas, and not really keep the same information. Also, all the questions that are in the Quora or other place are pulled here. It's great also because I think a lot of people are asking question in Quora also. So this is already good. You can generate your FAQ. You can even create your pricing page FAQ with this all these questions. How much does it cost to repair a flat roof? How much does it cost to repair? What is the rule for cost of repair damage on the roof for housing society apartments? I'm not sure it's pulling from US. Okay, good. Will it cost me more for a Kana City flat roof repair? It also has some UK result.
Yeah, it just
Here,
depends on your demographic too. If you're, let's say that you're creating a blog that's national, then because you're using it for lead generation or something like that, because you've got partners all over the U.S.,
right,
um, then then that would be relevant because then you're going to touch into all those. But
what,
if you're just providing copywriting for one particular roofing company in your area, you're doing their website, you're taking care of their content, then obviously you're only be concerned about your particular area.
right. And of course, we are running out, looks like time. But what I found
What
very
blasphemy?
what I found interesting here is also looking at the news item. This is directly pulled from Google News resources like Yahoo
Sure.
Finance, Inside Service. These are quite. So what I found differently than ranking 1, 2, 3, 4 article than this. These are also well researched article actually. Because these are written by journalists. Journalists generally do quite a research when they write something, and this can
Hmm.
have very interesting ideas to pull in future.
Oh,
So
there's 100 articles, and just in the what it's kicking out right now. I mean, you could feasibly write 100 different articles because, it's all about creating content and keeping the website alive with a pulse. What we like to call a pulse, meaning
mhm,
Google wants to make sure that the website's still alive because when it comes back around and checks it again, if it's static and hasn't nothing's changed in 6 months, then believe it or not, that could affect your ranking. So
right, right. So of course, I found these news resources also very interesting. They're pulled in the Google, and they are coming from as a news item. So some
mhm.
of them can be really interesting, although they are not ranking on page one. But see kind of these examples like Forbes. I think we saw earlier also, but there are some news agencies also, right? PR
Mhm.
Newswire, KLFY, Nasdaq, um, and there can be more interesting ideas here if you pick up the news items. So the goal here was to also make your content very relevant. If some news is going on in your niche, then you can pick up that as well.
Right. And
So
we can go on and on with it because there's just tons of ideas and informations in here, different ways you can take it. But yeah, I mean, at least now we've demonstrated from the start to the concept to the niche to start putting together and executing an article or a piece of information, copywriting information that you can either write for your client. Now, obviously, if we were going to be wanting to put together a sales email for roofing companies to bring them in as a partner in our network, then obviously we would have went about this a little differently. The roofing owner would have become the persona,
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera. But this is great because I like the diversity of not just focusing on some CEO, the decision maker in a large company where, yeah, that satisfies a lot of the CrawlQ users that's what they're focusing on is executing content through emails and things like that to sign up a new customer. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people once they feel understand that that's not that's not limitation of CrawlQ. CrawlQ can build personas. CrawlQ can build personas for anything.
Right, right. Um, you just need to feed with initial ideas, and then it will take from there, and it will
And
start
they say,
building.
well, why is this important? Well, the reason why CrawlQ is important is because the SEO game is becoming more and more saturated. Every day there's new people that come in on board and start an agency, and they're reaching out. But to me, CrawlQ is a high-end tool for those of us who are going to specialize in only a handful of niches. So, or even one. Let's say that you want to become an expert in dental surgery, and you're only going to focus on obtaining new clients that provide some kind of dental surgery, whether it's veneers or some kind of, jaw structure arrangement or something like that. Whatever it is, this CrawlQ helps you become an expert. It's not for those people that are just trying to skim over and kick out a ton of generic articles to try to rank in a certain area. That CrawlQ is there to help you become an expert at your persona, period. That's what put.
Can I invite you in my next webinar, and can you say those words those you're saying to
I
me?
thought this was going to go live.
Okay.
I'm talking about this because I thought it was going to go live. Or you might want to dub that out.
Okay, let's make this live then also.
But no, it's the whole purpose of. I mean, it's the whole the gold I've seen behind CrawlQ is exactly that. It's no longer sufficient to just have a basic knowledge of your client. I mean, the guy that's going to be beating you, the guy or the girl is going to be beating you, is the one who has become an expert in their client. And it's always been the goal in any kind of copywriting is to understand and resonate with your client. And that's exactly what CrawlQ is there to do.
Okay, great. I'm not sure how much time you have, but I just wanted to take 5 more minutes, and then I wanted to introduce another buyer persona that we agreed on a case study, and that was new home construction. And here I took my more liberty not to look at somewhere, but just try to feed what I was thinking might be a good idea. So young home buyers, okay, young home buyers who are looking for quick moving new home construction, and they're looking for tools, guide, info, resources without leaving the comfort of their chair. Then I further made it a little bit more in the same problem solution space. So young couples looking for search, tour, guide to customize their new home construction. They're looking for accurate information on text, cost of construction. They also wanted to do some visual tools where they can draw it on the screen. They're also interested in what timelines will be there if they wanted to get into this new home construction thing, okay? And they wanted to do all this in a comfort of making their independent choices without obviously getting ripped off. So,
right.
So this was
so the whole purpose behind this would be, again, either you're creating a website that's it's going to be an information center for anyone and everything that dealing with new home construction, and you're going to monetize that somehow, whether it's through AdSense or it's based just on traffic or whatever, or you bring in partners and you entice them with a website that's already getting traffic, and you're able to monetize it by bringing in select home construction builders who want to participate in your program, and you're able to send them traffic through that, or
right.
Or you're you have in your local area, you have a new home construction that you're wanting to partner with and get paid by the lead. Then that's another reason why you're going to want to understand this niche, this market, this young couple looking for to buy a home, and what all options are available. And so at the end of the day, it's, to me, it's about partnering with the person that's going to provide the home construction. So you have to become an expert in their clients so that you can bring in the leads and hopefully make quite a bit of money.
Right. And obviously, I put my experience also on it. So I know someone with the name Susanna, with her boyfriend. She was actively searching for the most accurate information and digital platform, actually, where she can find the demos, or she can find the prototypes of new home construction in this particular area where they wanted to, settle close to office and the daycare. They are struggling to find one single virtual digital platform to compare, design, customize, and find lenders, including a mortgage
That's the other thing
calculator.
I was going to say. The lenders are heavily tied to this as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So mortgage calculator, generally people look first when they are planning this, because they wanted to break down each and every component of their mortgage. Different types of mortgages are there, like annuity, and depending on the different places, and banks. Builder information, of course, is important, and uh, myriad of other resources all in one place. So they are looking something as a platform which can help them to do everything without leaving their chair. And that was the idea. So again, I did not sort of referred here to something else, but just as in,
That's a perfect persona.
yeah,
That room is a pretty specific couple in mind, down to all their pains and their struggles and their what
right.
they'd like to see, and that's absolutely excellent. And to me, this is I could build a ton of stuff off of just this. I mean, um, it's basically providing the solutions to it all.
Right, right. So the idea here is we start with one single person. We feed this information as much as accurate as we know from our experience, and then we ask these insights. And these insights help us to pull more information. By adding those useful and unique information, we create sort of generic customer avatar. And it's not in the sense that it is generic, that it represents large people, but it's more like abstract and generic version, so that you can find statistically significant number of Suzanne, because you're not selling your stuff to only one person, right? You wanted to have a statistical significant number of people. That's where your market is born. That's where your niche market is born.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's the idea, to start with one person and try to explore that problem solution space. Use some AI insights to make it more unique and abstract ideas, so that you have a kind of your market, niche market, and then use this information to create content, test it, and then of course, as you understand the journey of Fred, you start collecting case studies, you collect testimonials, and you keep evolving this. So if you have a client for whom you need to create a contract, you can phase this contract in different, like setup of the persona, creating some initial content, measuring
hmm
the feedback from the market, actually from the Fred, right? And then
hmm
uh, building this information over a long period of time. So you can, if you're agency, you can really get long-term contract and retainer contract also. So you set up one time, and then you have a retainer client where you sort of providing this service on a monthly basis, and evolving this client with you as this client make progress in terms of
right.
revenue growth, case
And
studies.
and as I become more proficient in it, my goal for CrawlQ is going to be to how to put this into a my workflow for customer acquisition for clients. So, and some of the things to think about on that would be is going and validating the actual need. So, I mean, obviously in CrawlQ, we're building the persona where we have a Susanna with her real life difficulties and struggles that she's finding in the market, trying to get answers for. Um, but what we're going to do is, in what I'll end up doing is figuring out different ways of validating that to make sure that that's we want to obviously validate it. We want to make sure that that's a real problem. That's one person, right? One person that has this problem. We can build a persona around that, but we can also go out and validate how many Suzannes are out there,
Right.
and what kind of volume is on the search for those kind of questions and so forth. But that's a different day, a different story. That's how I'll be using it. It's using this information to validate the actual problem out there and how much of it is a big problem. So the more you able, because the bigger the problem is, the more volume, more people searching, more Suzannes that are out there and her boyfriend, the more of them out there, the more the when you go to write that material, it's going to be answering not just Suzanne, but it's going to be answering all the personas like Suzanne. So to me, it's really important part of the customer acquisition, or SEO or whatever. But yeah, like I said, as I wrap my head around all of this, my brain is always kicking out new ideas and ways of using this information, hacks, things like that. So, but yeah, this is a great start. Just for how long did this take you?
This persona actually took me
Was this
around.
actually a coffee meeting? Coffee? You guys go and have coffee and you ask these, or
Yes.
okay, great. You're
I'm
you're
going.
you're preaching. You're practicing what you preach, brother.
Yes, yes. I'm going to have a coffee date with Sajana and her boyfriend, both of them, and have them to identify some things, right, where they can make a choice whether they wanted to have a new home construction or they wanted to buy old house. And I will also explain them, if you buy an old house and if you get stuck with the old roof,
Pros and
then
cons, yeah. Pros
I
and cons of building new and buying an existing home.
right, right,
The
because
the 10 benefits you may not have you may not know about, or the tax perks or different kinds of things that you get from building a new home.
right,
The warning signs, what to look for when building a new home, and that's going to surround a lot with the builder or whatever, because some of them do them cheap, like 175,000 will give you a 1,500 square foot home of your dream and blah blah blah. It's like, sure. Then you get there, and in the first year there's cracks in the drywall, the foundation's starting to crack, and it's like some of the things that there's a ton of material to talk about.
right.
But yeah,
The
this is a great start.
the most important thing I'm going to talk is about the construction timeline,
Oh,
because
there you go,
most
yeah. A lot of
most of
people want to know that. Yep.
yes, and most of the time you get a home delivered without a kitchen, without closet, and that's where your
When can I move in? Bottom
yes,
line,
yes,
when
yes,
can I move in at the earliest? Whether it's done or not. When can we move in? It's
yeah.
like, well, I don't know what you found in that, but I think it's at least a year or two, isn't it? To expect a year or 2 years minimum.
Yeah, yeah. Generally, in Netherlands, it's almost 2 years minimum when you buy, when you
Yeah,
sign the contract for a new construction.
yeah, and give
And
ideas what they can do along the way. Is it better to rent? Is an apartment a good
right,
solution? Rent a home or whatever. Yeah.
right,
Live in a
right,
camper. I mean, if you really want to save some money, live in a camper and eat ramen noodles.
right, right. Cool. So I think not taking much of your time, but I really wanted to thank you for being on this call and
Yeah, appreciate
going
it.
a bit deeper with this. And of course, I'll invite you more in upcoming webinars where you can also share your experience. And if you're working with some content, you can obviously share it with the community.
Yep, I got the
So,
three big projects that I'm going to be using CrawlQ on for, and now I can share with you my methodologies, and we can just plug in another niche for it, and use the same um, workflow that I'm using to kind of validate it. And again, we don't want to make it sound like you can't use other tools with CrawlQ. I mean, um, like I use other tools, to be quite frank, but I use CrawlQ for its strength, and its strength is pulling together a ton of relevant information to your persona, and even the editor is great. It can finish. You don't need another content creation editor. You do not need one. Can you use other ones? Sure. But CrawlQ content creation editor will do exactly what you needed to do to create articles and things like that, and copy it, paste it into WordPress or whatever. And you still, there's other things that, the reason why it's not quite the finisher of an article, because you're going to want images and things like that. You're going to want to have, you want to, and like you said, you don't want to focus entirely on SEO, um, because you don't want to restrain people that may not understand that as well. But at the end of the day, if it's going to be an email, well, you don't have to worry about SEO, right? You just have to
Right.
worry about resonating with the reader. But if it is going to be an article and you do want to get traffic on it, SEO is something that's inevitable.
Right. And what I maybe interesting here is it also has a module which covers all different types of sales
There you
letters.
go. Yep.
And the moment you start creating the sales letter, also there are some questions answered. So it is same way, like you feed it one or two information and then
Yeah.
you say fill with AI. But interesting thing is when you retrain Athena, it is also going to train on these things, and so more and more you
Yes.
use it,
Awesome.
then
Yeah.
it becomes more like your sales
Yep.
copywriter. Athena is also training on the sales copywriter, and we
Yep.
are like then collecting more and more sales and marketing argument, variety of argument. And then because by construction it works matching your best query, right? So by construction is going to become more smarter and smarter, better and
That's
better,
it.
because it's going to plug in the right and useful context for that particular content that you're creating.
And to me, that's the one unparalleled thing about CrawlQ is building your own database. There's nothing out there doing that. I mean, with outranking, you can build your own concepts and things like that, um, but that's nothing compared to having a whole database that's actually kicking out almost everything you need to put a sales letter out.
Yeah, I mean, see, this sales letter has almost 56 question, and then there are 15 such. So if you don't even use those sales letter, but if you just create it for one time, you're creating a database, and that database will be quite useful as you grow it more and more. You have your own sort of collection of information that you wanted to use at any point of time. So you're creating your own kind of a research tool and an assistant that you can take along whenever you want. And of course it has a variety of information like emails, landing pages, small teaching course, or insights, video scripts, headlines. So once you use this, it gets smarter and smarter, because you can go back and retrain the Athena, and then it will start using the sales related information. And as I said, we are also in the process of making like user having a choice between more blog related information or more like sales oriented content. Then you can fine tune your Athena here. So you can make a choice. Hey, I wanted to have Athena more on the sales side, or do I want to have Athena at this moment more on the blog information, or should I only write about my buyer persona? So making those choices will give you more flexible approach to use Athena in the right
A lot of
context.
power under the hood. A lot of
Yeah.
power under the hood.
Mhm. Again, so thanks for your time, Randy. It was a pleasure always when we speak about
Yep. And the next
things.
maybe on the next one or so, we can delve deeper into creating the power behind a great sales letter, and just other aspects of CrawlQ that maybe people don't know that it can do.
Yeah.
And then also and take that information and how we fill it out, how that's going to play in a regular blog that we put out, because that information is retained in your private database, and it's going to help with using that same content in a blog or an article too. So,
Right.
but yeah, awesome, man. I really am excited about CrawlQ and the direction that it's going, and I hope that I can um, you know be a team member in its success. And so yeah, let's schedule another one.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much again for your time, and let's
Awesome.
catch up again. Bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your day more. Yeah.
All right. You too. Thank you. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Bye bye. Bye.